Hello, this is Devin with HDpiano.com, and in today's lesson I'll be showing you guys how to play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. So this lesson is certainly geared towards beginners, and if you've never even touched a piano, you'll be able to walk away from this video with something under your fingers. We'll be learning the note names, some basic technical concepts, as well as talking about the rhythm behind this very simple piece. Sounds like this: 3, 4. Repeat that. And now we repeat the first two phrases. All right, so we'll get through that much in this video, but over at HDpiano.com, we'll talk about how we can put some chords into the left hand as kind of a next step. All right, so we've got a little bit of ground to cover, and you'll be able to walk away from this series feeling like you can rock some Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. All right, so before we begin, a quick little question. Was this a song that you sung in your childhood? I think if you grew up in America, you'll probably say yes, but I'm curious to hear from those of you that are from elsewhere in the world. So comment below, and if not, tell me something that was, a classic children's nursery rhyme or something of that nature. From where you're from. All right, so let's begin. Well, first things first, let's learn some notes. This is called middle C, and it's more or less in the center of your piano. If you have a full-size piano, this E is probably like right in line with whatever the logo is of the piano. I find that this tends to be dead center. So if you just find this middle E, which is above these two black notes, and then you walk down the alphabet, E, D, C, you get C. And we call it middle C because it's in the middle. This is always a great starting point, and it's very much the common territory for the right hand. It's just kind of in this general area. Left hand's going to hang out more down here, generally speaking. Now, why do we start on C? Well, C is a very nice place to start, and you've probably heard people talk about, oh, the key of C is so easy on the piano. Why is that? Well, because the key of C is all white notes, so all you got to do is just drag your hand down the keyboard or up the keyboard, and it sounds nice. It sounds like the C major scale. So even though A is the start of the alphabet, A is actually kind of difficult. We see these 3 black notes, and I don't know, if you're just beginning, you probably just want to stick to these notes that look the same, they're the same size, so you can just take a shape, you can just move it around. The key of C is your friend as a beginner. So walking up that scale, we get C, D, E, F, G, but the musical alphabet resets after G and starts at A. And then from A, we get B, and we're back to C. But we have an octave now, and C is just going to lead us to another C, and the same goes for moving downward. C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. So that pattern just repeats no matter what direction you go on your piano or keyboard. Now, your piano would have 88 keys, but your keyboard might have as few as 25 or, 40, 49 or 61 keys, 37 maybe. Those are some common numbers. But you can always find middle C. It should be more or less in the middle, and it'll be just below these 2 black notes. As you can see, there's a pattern: 2 black notes, 3 black notes, 2 black notes, 3 black notes. And you can always use those to get your bearings and find C just below the 2 black notes. So we can call this first position C, D, E, F, G. It's just 1 finger per note, very simple. And we're going to need 1 extra note for this song, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, because it uses 6 notes of the scale. And you might have noticed that I just kind of popped my pinky up to an A there and back down to a G. So the shape of this melody goes from the bottom to the top. And then we're going to stretch up, and then we're going to bring it back down to G. And then our pinky's done all the heavy lifting. We're going to let our ring finger down to our middle finger, down to our pointer finger, and down to our thumb to finish off that phrase. So we played 6 notes. See if you can play it with me nice and slow, and I'll name them as we go. 3 and 4 and C, C, G, G, A, G, F, F, E, E, D, D, C. Great. Now, if we mirror that pattern with our left hand, we're just going to put it at this C an octave below. We know that's a C because it's just below these two black notes here. And just get familiar. You'll notice that now your thumb is on top and your pinky's on bottom, right? Because our hands are opposite. So that might be a little confusing to start. When we play pinky in the right, we're going to play thumb in the left. But for now, let's just look at the left by itself. We're going to play the bottom, the top, and we're going to stretch up to A and back down. And now we just let our fingers walk down the scale, 2 each. So those are the notes for the first 2 measures of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Now, what's a measure? Well, measure is kind of like a box that we fit little phrases into. And generally speaking, a lot of music has 4 beats in a measure. So it's very common to count 1, 2, 3, 4. And Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star is happening at twice that speed. So let's slow that down and go 1, 2, 3, 4. So within each of those numbers, which we're going to call quarter notes, and I'll tell you why in a second, we're going to fit 2 of each note. So 1, we play 2 C's. On beat 2, we play 2 G's. G, G. Beat 3, we play 2 A's. And beat 4, we play 1 G. Right? Because we have twinkle, twinkle, little star. All right, so what we have there are eighth notes and then a single quarter note. So a quarter note is a quarter note because just like there are 4 beats in a measure, there are 4 quarter notes in a measure. It's a quarter of the measure. An eighth note, logically, is fits 2 eighth notes into a quarter note because it's an eighth the length of a measure instead of a quarter. So when they're twice as fast, they're eighth notes. And then on that last one, where we hold it for the entirety of beat 4, it's a quarter note. So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And the and is a way of counting the eighth note between the big beats, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So try that with me, just your left or just your right, whatever's comfortable. 3 and 4 and. Another way to think of it is short, 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 long. Short, 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 long. What's nice about this song is while the notes change, that rhythm remains consistent throughout the entire thing. So we're gonna start from G now, and using that same rhythm, this is we're moving on to the next little phrase of the melody. We're gonna walk down G, F, E, D, C. Right, just walking down our C major scale from G, and we're gonna use the same rhythm. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We're gonna stop on that D, and then we're gonna do it again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And the good news here is that the only music that is left is a direct repetition of the beginning. So we just repeat the twinkle, twinkle, little star. How I wonder what you are. I wonder if I even said those lyrics right. I'm not sure those are the lyrics at the end. How sad. Anyways. We've made it through the entirety of the melody of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Now, I just want to make sure that you have a grasp of that rhythm. And I want you to maybe just count out loud while I play. Count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And just know that every time you get to 4, you're going to reset to 1, and that will start a new measure. So tell me, how many measures long is Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star? Do it a little faster since you're just counting. 3 and 4 and. All right, how many measures did you count? Say it out loud. Obviously, due to the limitations of technology in 2019, I can't hear your answer, but the correct answer would be 6. All right, and we have 2 measures for that first phrase. Then we have our second phrase repeated twice, but that phrase is just 1 measure each time, so that's another 2 measures. And then we repeat the first phrase, which is 2 measures. 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2, that's 6. All right, so it's a 6-measure melody, probably one of the shortest songs in the HDpiano catalog. Now, we've got the notes, and I want to talk about, we have a brief small understanding of the rhythm at play here, but I want to talk about some technique. You'll notice that my hands look very relaxed, and what I notice with a lot of beginners is, if you're not used to doing such finessed finger work, your fingers are just going to kind of like jump everywhere, and it's going to look like, you're like going crazy or something. Your fingers are pointing every which way. So it might take some really focused attention, one hand at a time, to just play one note, and just make sure that these fingers are just as natural as can be. They're just chilling. Same goes for D, right? Notice there's no motion in any of my other fingers. So you want to start like that, but it is okay to have a little, global motion where your whole hand is moving in kind of a lyrical way. Try E, but you don't want to see this. You don't want to see any jumping, that's obviously because you can't control your fingers, right? So you want to just do whatever you need to do at a nice slow tempo to build that control. This is an especially hard one, the ring finger, because I believe it's connected to the pinky finger by a tendon or something like that, but I'm no expert. And your pinky. All right, so just sit at the piano, read the news while you do. Well, maybe don't read the news, but feel free to maybe multitask a little bit. It's something you can do while you're really bored, although I probably shouldn't have said that. You should focus 100% on your technique and just make it feel natural. You would do the same with your left hand, right? Isolating each note, just making sure that you can walk through the scale without any extraneous movement. And then you can start doubling up on each note. And at this point, we're not even really playing the song anymore. We're just doing some exercises. There's the song. All right, so that's how you're going to keep your hands nice and relaxed at the piano. Okay, a couple more things before we go. The phrasing of this song, it's an ABA melody. And I just want to say this because it helps you kind of see music in a macro context. Might feel like you just learned a lot of notes, and how are you supposed to remember this order? Well, we say one phrase, that's phrase number A, or letter A, and that's the Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. All right, so that's phrase A. File that away. You just practice that by itself. You don't even move on. You just make sure that you have that solid under your fingers. And while I'm at it here, I'm demonstrating with 2 hands. And I encourage you to just focus on one hand at a time for now. And then when you're really ready, take it super slow. Stay relaxed. Turn it into a 2-handed part. All right. So what I was getting at was then we see a new phrase. And then it repeats. All right, so that's just a straight descending melody because it's moving down the keyboard as opposed to up. So we'll call that phrase B. And then we just repeat phrase A, the first thing we learned. So really all we need to know are 3 measures of music to play 6 measures of music. And as you develop as a musician, as a pianist, you'll notice that a lot of music is built on repetition. So it's all about learning a couple small chunks, a handful of chords, and then you start to realize, I just do that the same here. Oh, I just bring it up the octave. Oh, I see, it's almost the same as that other thing I learned. You'll see that there's so much crossover. So it's important to kind of start developing your eye for those patterns now. Listen for any similarities, look for any similarities, any patterns, and all that stuff. So I'm going to stop here. Maybe I'll play you guys out with one slow run through of the whole song, and then I hope to see you over at HDpiano.com to start learning some very simple chords. Here we go. 3 and 4 and. Great work, my friends. My name is Devin with HDpiano.com. Everybody's got to start somewhere, so take your time. Don't worry if it takes a little bit of practice. It's a simple piece, but it'll set you up for success at the piano. So we'll see you over at HDpiano.com for the rest. And while I have you here, please like and subscribe. Follow us on social media, and that way you'll know about all of our upcoming lessons. We'll talk to you soon.